Assistant Professors of History, A.D.M. College for Women, Nagapattinam. Today we see the topic United Nations and the World. You know, United Nations, UNO, called for UNO, one of the peace organizations all over the world. Okay, the United Nations and the world. The devastations caused by the Second World War made it imperative to have a world organizations to prevent war and to maintain international peace. For the purpose of only to maintain international peace organizations in this world. The failure of League of Nations, after that the organizations of League of Nations, the First World War. Okay, the failure of League of Nations to prevent war led to conference at San Francisco on 26th June 1945. The United Nations organizations, now only called the United Nations, became effective on 24th October 1945. The aims of UNO, its main aims were to maintain international peace and security and work towards improve the relations among the nations based on respect for the principles of equal rights and self-determinations of peoples, every peoples, and cooperative in finding a solutions for international, social, economic, cultural and humanitarian problems and in promoting respect for human rights and basic freedoms. And others aims of serves as a basic for coordinating the actions for nations to attain these common goals. Measures of UNO. The measures of UNO appointing a body of persons to help bring about an agreement between disputing nations and sending investigating missions to trouble the areas, gain first-hand informations and securing agreements to reduce armaments and work for disarmaments and preventing genocide by appealing to member countries to observe the principles enunciated in the Universal Declarations of Human Rights. So these are the measures of UNO. At the same time, about UNO, after that functions of UNO, so the about of UNO, and the headquarters of UNO is at New York. UNO headquarters in New York. The 6 official working languages are Chinese, English, French, Russian, Spanish and Arabic. And there are 6 organs of UNO. The first one, the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the Trusteeship Council, the International Court of Justice and the Secretariat. There are 6 organs of the UNO. The first organs in General Assembly. The first organs of General Assembly, there are main wing of the UNO. This organ has been referred to as the meeting of the world. This is all members of UN are member of this organ. Each member has only one vote. It's entitled to send a maximum of 5 representatives appointed by the respective members' government. Functions of General Assembly. These organs can discuss any questions or matter within the scope of the charter which may endanger international peace and security, and the General Assembly can call the attentions of Security Council, and it also approves the budget and is responsible for financial and budgetary arrangements with specialized agencies. And another one functions, the Secretary General is also appointed by the General Assembly on the recommendations of the Security Council. The judges of the International Court of Justice are also elected by the General Assembly for a period of 9 years in collaborations with the Security Council. And the amending of the charters lies in the hands of the General Assembly. It also has its own committees and subsidiary organs. The General Assembly meets ordinary once a year and elects its president for that year. For example, in 1953, Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Pandit was elected the president of General Assembly. One of our Indian women, Mrs. Vijayalakshmi Pandit, one of the General Assembly's members. The other one organs, the Security Council. The Security Council are the enforcing wing. The Security Council or the enforcing wing is always in sessions and takes prompt action to ensure international peace and security as usual. International peace and security to maintain the Security Council. The Security Councils consisted of 11 members of UNO. The 5 members is permanent and 6 members are non-permanent. These members were elected for a term of 2 years by General Assembly. The 5 permanent members have the right of veto for the elections of the non-permanent members. The functions of Security Council and the chief functions of Security Council is the maintains as usual peace and security, and it has the power to discuss, investigate and recommend. Its peaceful negotiations among members in nations fates. All new members are admitted by decisions of the General Assembly on the recommendations of the Security Council. Another one organizations, the Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC. It's called for ECOSOC, Economic and Social Council. This council consists of 54 members of the UNO elected by the General Assembly for a term for 3 years. 1/3 of its members are replaced every year. A retiring member is eligible for re-elections and each member has 1 representative. The functions of Economic and Social Council, the work of this organ is called outthrow the functional and regional commissions. It has the power to initiate studies and reports regarding international economic, social, cultural, educational and health matters. The coordinations of the work of the specialist agencies of the UN is an important task of our world. And another one organizations, the Trusteeship Council. Its task is to supervise the administrations of trust territories under the trusteeship system. This is to promote advancement of the inhabitants of trust territories and their progressive development towards self-government or independence. This council acts under authority of the General Assembly and in some cases the Security Council. These are functions of Trusteeship Council. Then another one, prominent organizations, International Court of Justice. It is the chief judicial organs of the UN and was created by an international treaty. The court consists of 15 judges elected by the General Assembly and the Security Council voting independently. The elections is on the basis of qualifications and not on nationally. But no 2 judges can be of the same nationality. The judges who serve a term of 9 years may be re-elected. The seat of the court is at The Hague, Netherlands. There are situated the International Court of Justice, Netherlands, the place of The Hague. The another one, organizations, Secretariat. The Secretariat is referred to as the International Civil Service. Its head is the Secretary General, who is appointed by the General Assembly on the recommendations of, as usual, the Security Council. His term for 5 years and speaks on behalf of the UN. At the same time, Now, number of specialized agencies in addition to UNO, 18 independent specialized agencies. There are 14 major United Nations programs and funds. Some of them, there are first one, the UNESCO. A number of specialized agencies, the United Nations of our organization. We are seeing the specific organizations. So, UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organizations, the abbreviations of UNESCO. This was established on November 4, 1946 to contribute to peace and security. To contribute this organization to all over the world to peace and security, to maintain peace and security. It promotes collaborations among nations in the field of education, science and cultures. Its headquarters in Paris. UNESCO headquarters in Paris. The another specialized agencies, International Labour Organizations, the short form of ILO. International Labour Organization is an intergovernmental agency. It consists of government, employers and workers. And these organizations consist of three categories: the government, employers and workers. Its aims is to promote social justice, improve living standards and conditions and promote economic advancements of laborers. It's established in 1919, its headquarters in Geneva. ILO headquarters in Geneva. And another one, specialized agencies, Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, Food and Agricultural Organizations. It's established on October 16, 1945. Its aims at rising living standards and nutrition levels of peoples all the world. It also aims at improving productions and distributions of food and agricultural product. So, main concentrations to distributions of food and agricultural product all over the world and peoples. Its headquarters is at Rome. The another one organization, World Health Organization, WHO, is established on 27 December 1945 with its headquarters at Geneva. It aims to highest attainable possible levels of health for all people. So, health for all peoples in this world to be concentrations in the World Health Organizations. Recently in these organizations the role on Corona period. So, the World Health Organizations aims to highest attainable to the levels of health for all peoples in this world. And International Monetary Fund, IMF. The IMF was established on 27th December 1945 with its headquarters at Washington DC. Its aims promoting exchange stability and avoiding competitive exchange depreciations. It promote international monetary cooperations and expands international trade. The main concentrations in international monetary cooperations and expands international trade to be concentrated in these organizations, International Monetary Fund. The another organization and this specific of UNO, United Nations Children's Fund, the short form to be called UNICEF, United Nations Children's Fund. It is formerly known as United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. In this set up in 1945, its headquarters at New York. This is the only intergovernmental organization concerned with specific children's welfare. To be concentrated specific in children's welfare, it seeks to improve the quality of the life of children in developing country for future generations. And International Bank of Reconstruction and Development, IBRD, shortly they were called, shortly we are called World Bank. And the World Bank within headquarters at Washington DC, it came into existence on December 27, 1945. World Bank, 1945, December 27. It facilitates investment to develop the economics of members. Members, that means all over the countries. It facilitates investment to develop the economies of members. It promotes foreign investments and growth of international trade. To be concentrated, to promote foreign investment, at the same time the growth of international trade. And the United Nations High Commissioners for Refugee, one of the specialist agencies of UNO, UNHCR. It's established on 1st January 1951. Its main works for resettlement for refuge. The UNHCR was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1955 and again in 1981 for its good work for the peace for and resettlement for refugees for successful way. Its headquarters at Geneva. At the same time, number of achievements till date, the UNO, and the main achievements of UNO, it prevents productions of atomic weapons. In this modern trend, the nations concentrated to the world power. So, at the same time, the world power to maintain number of disputes. So, the UNO to be concentrated, it prevents productions of atomic weapons, and it has reduced the arms of superpowers, and it has succeeded in preventing wars and reducing enmity and difference of opinion between nations to a large extent. And another one achievements in UNO, number of achievements, at the same time it finds solutions to various political and defense problems of the world, and to improve international understanding and friendship have been promoted, and it's maintained world peace and international laws and international arbitrations and world conferences. Regulations of airways and sea routes and control of crime and drug trafficking, etc. These are the main achievements of the UNO until time. Okay, thank you.